Hey, hey, welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hey, how you doing? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in. We're doing some emotional spring cleaning, so I hope you can stick around. I am live on, what is this? I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I am on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube all at the same time. Well, I'm about to be anyway. I went live everywhere else. Let's see. That's what I'm doing now. Go live on Instagram. LinkedIn. Okay, I'm on Facebook, and now I am on. Okay, I'll be looking for the time. The time. How you doing today? Tell me how you doing, everybody who's coming in. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how you are doing. With 10 being the best and 1 being not too good. So if you have not been catching me live, I've been going live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday every week, and we are doing emotional spring cleaning. Hello, welcome in. Good. That is good. We're going to see if we can get you up to 6 or 7. Stick around. So we have been doing emotional spring cleaning. Emotional spring cleaning is no different than you doing your regular spring cleaning. When you cleaning up, packing up stuff, going through your closets, you know, cleaning things out the closet, out the drawers, dusting, mopping, all that stuff, deep cleaning. That's what we're doing with our mental health. We are doing emotional spring cleaning. So if you comment the word clean, then you can get a free copy of my 7-day emotional spring cleaning workbook. But in the meantime, we gonna get right into it. Again, I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So today we are talking about, what are we talking about? We are talking about releasing resentment. That's what we're talking about today. Releasing resentment. And that is one of the heaviest barriers to your healing. If you are holding grudges or being resentful, there's no room for that when you're in your healing process. And I know a lot of people, including me, I used to take pride in holding grudges. The longest I held a grudge was 20 some years, I believe, but it didn't do anything for me. And it damn didn't do anything for the person I was holding a grudge with. So, we get rid of those grudges and those resentment. It's heavy. It's heavy and it's not serving you. So we letting go of resentment today. Welcome in. Thank you all for joining. My name is Shanti Refuge. I am a master certified mental health coach, mental health advocate. I am a keynote speaker, and I am an author of the best-selling book Quiet is Kept. And I will talk about that a little bit later. If you're not following me, go ahead and give me a follow. I'm Shanti Refuge Journals on all platforms except for TikTok. I'm Shanti Journal Bay. So there you have it. Uh, so we're talking about resentment. So some of y'all, and if you see me looking at different cameras, that's because I'm looking different ways. I got 2 iPads and a laptop in front of me, and on my laptop is Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and then there's TikTok and then Instagram behind it. So that's why you see me looking all kind of ways, but the message is still the same. I remember I used to go live on each individual platform, and I used to have to repeat everything. And I said, okay, this has to be an easier way to do this. That's back when I didn't know no better. But now I know better, I do better. I got tired of repeating the same thing over and over. So we're going to get started. We're talking about emotional spring cleaning. We're talking about resentment today, letting go of resentment. So some of y'all say you forgave somebody. You said you forgave them, but really you're still holding on to resentment. And with that, you've learned how to function, you've learned how to smile through it, you've learned how to move forward. But every now and again, something triggers you, whether it's a smell, a scent, that person's name comes up. Hey, honey, how you doing? That person's name come up, and as a trigger for you. And then you realize, well, damn, I'm not over it, because if you saying this person's name, it shouldn't have an effect on me if I really forgave them, right? So we're talking about resentment and holding grudges. We're getting rid of that today. So today we are talking about resentment and what it is, why it lingers, and how to finally release it so you can reclaim your peace. Because that's all we want is peace, and peace is priceless. I'm telling you, peace is priceless. Now that I have it, when I didn't have it, that's something I used to, beg for, and now I got it. I want y'all to come with me and be at peace. It's great over here. So, resentment is a complex emotional response that often develops when we feel hurt, betrayed, or treated unfairly, right? Because we're human, that's natural. So, when those experiences go unaddressed, the emotions don't go away. Like with time, no, it does not go away. They just settle deep within us, like deep, deep, to where you almost forget about it until something triggers it. Then it comes back up and you get those feelings all over again. So, research in psychology, um, it indicates that holding on to resentment can increase stress levels and negatively impact both mental and physical health. Because if you are holding on to stuff here, your body keeps the score. I tell y'all this all the time. Your body definitely keeps the score when it comes to mental health. And if you're not addressing your mental health, eventually it's going to come out in your body, such as elevated anxiety and depression, increased stress hormones such as cortisol. Ladies, cortisol, that cortisol belly some of us have, could be due to you holding on to things and you taking stuff and exercising and nothing working. It ain't working because you haven't addressed what the real issue is. High blood pressure, difficulty forming or and maintaining healthy relationships. Keyword, healthy relationships. We can have all the relationships we want, but there's nothing like a healthy one. And once you've experienced a healthy relationship, you will never go back to what was before. All right. So, um, forgiveness and emotional processing. When you get there, those have been associated with improved mental health, reduce your stress, greater overall well being. So, importantly, forgiveness does not mean excusing harmful behavior. A lot of people will say, I don't want to forgive them because they feel like it will take the person off the hook for whatever they did. Forgiveness is never for them. Never. I don't care what the situation is. Forgiveness is always for you. Always. It just means, and what forgiveness does, it frees you from the emotional grip of whatever the experience was. So always forgive. Be quick to forgive. You can be mad. You can forgive somebody and wish them well and never put them back in your life. Hello, how you doing, Dr. Kathy Tatum? Thank you for joining. So I want to clear something up. Resentment isn't just about what someone did to you. We're talking about emotional spring cleaning, and we're talking about resentment and forgiveness. So right on time for some of y'all. It's not about what somebody did to you. It's not just about what somebody did to you. It's about, sometimes we're sitting around waiting for an apology because that person owes us an apology. Please don't hold your breath waiting on an apology. You don't need an apology. Even though you're owed one, you can still move on without getting that apology. Or the closure you never got. Some people feel like they need to have closure before they can put a period at the end of a sentence. But I always say how that person treated you at the very end, that right there should be your closure. Whether it was disrespect or whatever the case may be, that was your closure right there. It's rare that a person will actually come back and say, you know what, I was wrong and blah, blah, blah. So, and you could be waiting for years for that, and you're wasting your life and your time waiting on an apology or waiting on some closure. Or, resentment is also about boundaries that you didn't set. You are responsible for setting boundaries for yourself. Boundaries are not for other people, they are for you. It tells how you want to be treated. And, in my group sessions that I host, I tell people Yeah. People love to, harp on what we did 10, 15, 20 years ago. And those people that do that, it's because they haven't grown. That's it. Anybody who comes and wants to say what you did in kindergarten, third grade, in your 20s, hell, we always messed up in our 20s. It's rare that somebody was level headed in their 20s and 30s. We did all kind of stuff. But, when you grow and learn and heal from that and move forward, there's always somebody. And most of the time it be people who are closest to you that will come back and try to throw something in your face about what you did back then. Okay, I'm not that person anymore. And for you to bring it up, you're still back there. So you can stay back there with that version of me, because I'm not her no more. We have grown, we have evolved, we have healed. So yeah, it's like, why even don't even respond? Not worth it, not necessary. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in. We're talking about emotional spring cleaning. We're talking about resentment and forgiving. So, like I said, you have to set boundaries. And in my groups, when people don't know their boundaries, because there are people who do not know what their boundaries are, I always recommend that I'm looking around for my journal, but it's over there. So I tell them to take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On one side, what you will tolerate, the other side, what you won't tolerate. Write it down. Only you know what you will and won't tolerate. And all the things that's on the I will not tolerate side, those are boundaries you need to set. So whether it's people talking crazy to you, you recognize somebody only contacts you when they want something, or they need a ride, need money, the only time you hear from them, stuff like that. Boundaries. Yes. I know that's right. I know that's right. Thank you. Yeah. And some people love to take advantage of you. Yes. Yeah, your body will always remember. And some people aren't aware of how their body feels when they're around somebody. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, they don't recognize, like, when you get around somebody, notice how your body reacts. Do you tense up? Hello, Richie B. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Shout out to Richard. Where you at, Richard? So I can tell him where you at. It's like I used to encounter somebody when they walked in a room, the air, like the life was sucked out of the room, literally. And I stayed away from that person because I did not like how they made me feel. Not said a word, not one word to me, but energy. Energy is currency, and y'all have to pay attention to. Richard is in Sierra Leone. Shout out. You far away. Yeah. Yeah, boundaries are hard. When I say name your boundary, yeah, people be like crickets, crickets. No, take some paper, write it down. Everything that you will not tolerate. And those are your boundaries. And once you set those boundaries, you have to communicate those boundaries. So it could have been that let's say you didn't have any boundaries up until now. And now you decided, okay, I'm going to have boundaries. You need to communicate that. So you're going to have to go tell Miss Jolene, I will not tolerate you calling me after 9 o'clock at night. I know we talked until from 9 to 2 last night, but today, new boundary. Don't call my house after 9. Either when you communicate that boundary, either the person is going to accept it and say, okay, I understand, and abide by your boundaries, or they're going to be like, girl, please, and still call you after 9 o'clock or whatever your boundary is. And once a person does that, cut them off. Simple as that. Because those who really care about you, care about your well-being, they will respect your boundaries. If anything, they'll be happy that you finally got some. But the people who don't care about your boundaries, or who think, okay, you set this boundary, but I'm a tiptoe, I'm a, double dutch into it to see, how you move, people are not gonna like your boundaries. They're not. And those are the people that you have to sever ties with. because I know you're not going to keep letting somebody disrespect your boundaries, especially after you have put them out there. These are my boundaries. Yes, I know I let you borrow $100 last week. I ain't letting you borrow it no more. No, thank you. Yes, absolutely. And it's not for them to understand. If somebody can't understand your boundaries, they don't want to understand them. And that probably means they don't have any. They let people do whatever, whenever to them. So they think it's okay to do whatever, whenever to somebody else. And it's not okay. Yeah. Definitely not for them to understand, but it's for them to respect. And if they can't respect your boundaries, then they can kick rocks, send them on their way. So don't sit around waiting for both. Steph, both. Oh, you must be new here. Welcome in. Let me tell you the story about how I had to put my mama in timeout. My own mother who gave birth to me, I had to put her in timeout several times. I used to did not have boundaries when it came to my mom. I used to think that okay, that's my mom. I have to do whatever it is she want me to do because that's my mama, and you can't tell your mama no, blah blah blah. And that eventually burned me out because I was saying yes to things I didn't want to say yes to. Hey, Ebony. I was saying yes to things I didn't want to say yes to. And then I started getting burnt out to where when she would call, I'd just be looking at the phone like, what she want? Because she would only call me whenever she wanted something. And I had to give her that boundary. I had to tell her no for the first time. Yeah, I had to I had to tell her no for the first time. And when I did, it hurt my feelings. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to hell because I told my mama no." And I cried and everything. But then that no got stronger and it got better every time. And so eventually, hey Fatima Bay. Eventually, she wasn't getting the picture that I'm saying no to all this stuff. Why you keep asking me? So I had to put her in timeout. I put her in the timeout for the first time for a year, a whole year. And then she came back talking about, okay, life's too short, blah, blah, blah. Let's start over. Okay, I'm gonna give you a chance. And she was right back in timeout 3 months later after that. So your job is to protect you. You only get one life to live, and you should not be on this earth unhappy behind anybody. I don't care if they had you or you had them. We were meant to be happy, not struggling, not mad at the world and all that other stuff. So it's up to us. We might not be responsible for what happened to us, or we might be, but for those of us who aren't responsible for the trauma that we've been caused, unfortunately, and it's not fair, but we are responsible for healing from that. Yes. Yes, believe them, baby, believe them red flags. Don't try to color red flags green, yellow, or purple. See it for what it is. Stop looking at potential in people. That'll get you caught up real quick. Looking at somebody's potential and not exactly what is in front of them or in front of you. So, um, and sometimes the hardest resentment to release is the resentment you hold towards yourself for what you tolerated, what you ignored, or didn't know at the time. Yeah, you got to let go of that resentment towards yourself as well, because of course you knew better. You wanted to see the good in that person. You created this whole, thank you, I appreciate it. Oh no, honey. Yes, come on over here. Thank you for the follow. Come on over here, baby. I have quit talking to my own kids. So I get it because I don't know, we gave birth to a bunch of ingrates, and at one point mine were some ingrates. They not no more. They didn't got it together. I thank God for that. But yeah, so I have, put my mom in timeout. I didn't put my kids in timeout. Hell, I didn't put myself in timeout. So you're in the right place. Thank you. It's never too late to start choosing you. Never too late. Start choosing you. Starting the day, Miss Steph. Choose you. All right, so holding on to resentment, it feels like protection. It really does, but in reality, it just keeps you emotionally tied to the very thing you're trying to escape. If you think about it, you're holding that resentment, thinking you're building this wall, but it's not. You're not building a wall in that sense. What you're doing is punishing yourself, in essence, by holding resentment and not, forgiving or not talking about or not, especially when it comes to self resentment, give yourself grace. Give yourself the same grace you would give somebody else if you give grace to anybody. So I got a little story time. It's brief. So there was a time when I thought that holding on to resentment meant I was honoring my pain, me not knowing no better. So I thought that if I let go, it meant what happened to me didn't matter. And that was so incorrect. What I came to understand through my healing journey is that resentment was not protecting me. It was exhausting me. So I'm pretty sure that if you are holding some resentment towards somebody for something, it is exhausting, very exhausting. It will keep you emotionally connected to the past, which will prevent you from moving forward or stepping fully into, your healing. So when I began the process of releasing it, it didn't erase the past. It just simply, I was able to free myself from the control of the past, if that makes sense. Yes, Fatima says holding on to resentment is like holding on to chains wrapped around you while drowning. Yes, not free to swim. All you're doing is sinking to the bottom. And that's the thing. We want to be free. You want to be free in all senses of the word, but mainly, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, free. Your life gets so much better when you let go of all those past hurts and past pains. It does. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Soft Life Healing by Shatima. Hey, Shatima girl. So now I am going to do the journal prompts. You can always catch the replay on my YouTube channel. That's where the journal prompts will be posted at. But y'all can listen along. But if you want to go to my YouTube, go to my YouTube and subscribe, and you can go look at all the replays of all the lives that I've ever done. I mean, we've been class been in session. I've been going live almost every day since January, but I took a couple of weeks off because my voice talking so much. You see, is getting deep. So I had to relax my vocal cords. So the first prompt is, who or what do I still feel resentment toward? Who or what do I still feel resentment toward? And you can catch all of these prompts on my YouTube channel at Shanti Refuge Journals. The second one is, what specifically am I holding on to about this situation? So think about who or what you're still holding resentment toward. Think about what specifically are you holding on to? What they said, how they did you, how you felt, whatever the case may be. Just be honest with yourself. The third one is, how has this resentment been affecting my emotional well-being or relationships? Hello, Regina Buckley. How are you? We're talking about emotional spring cleaning. And if you comment the word clean, I will send you my free workbook. It's a 7-day workbook for emotional spring cleaning. It takes you maybe 10 to 15 minutes a day to do the exercises. And it's 7 days. And it gets you to a start on releasing whatever it is been collecting dust inside of you emotionally. The next one is there any resentment I'm holding toward myself? If so, why? I know that answer for me used to be, hell yeah, because I knew better. I should have known better. I should have listened. I should have this. I should have that. Gotta let that stuff go. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I know y'all heard that before. Heard it or used it on somebody. And the fifth one is, what would it feel like to release this resentment and reclaim my peace? So that gives you a chance to imagine your life at peace without carrying that baggage that is no longer serving you. Absolutely not serving you. So when you do answer these prompts, I encourage you to answer them without judgment and remind yourself that awareness is the first step toward release. You have to be aware of it. If you're not aware of it, then Thank you, Steph. You're going to get the 7-day workbook. 7 days, take it one day at a time. Just, all I ask is that you be honest with yourself when you're answering these prompts, because some of them might not be easy. And, a lot of times we don't like to face ourselves. But thank you. So let me say this clearly to y'all. Again, forgiveness is not about them, not about the person. It is about you. Forgiveness does not mean that you forgot what happened. It doesn't mean that you all go reconcile with the person that you forgave. And it doesn't even mean you allow the behavior to continue. You can forgive someone and love them from afar. They don't have to be walking back into your life unless you want them back in your life. And that's you. Um, but what forgiveness essentially means is that you are no longer willing to carry the emotional weight of what happened. And that's the part that's the heaviest. Emotional weight is very, very heavy. So, releasing resentment is an act of self liberation. And it's a decision to prioritize your peace over your pain. And we all want that. We've all been pained, we've all been wronged in some kind of way. But forgiveness liberates you, it frees you. Just like Miss Fatima said, that's like having a bunch of chains wrapped around you and you trying to swim. Good luck with that. So tomorrow we're going to continue with the emotional detox. So we're going to be talking about self-forgiveness, letting go of the guilt and shame that you carry. And I have found with my clients, self-forgiveness is one of the hardest things that they can do. But I make it easy. Well, no, I don't. I make it hard and I make it real, but you're going to do it. It ain't easy. You're welcome, honey. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Make sure you do the worksheet and please give me any feedback. Come back and tell me how it went for you. And if you need me further, we can connect. So you'll get the workbook if you haven't gotten it already, but you're going to get it. Thank you. I appreciate you. So tomorrow we're going to talk about releasing the internal blame and embracing compassion for yourself as part of the healing journey, because that's one of the hard parts that I have found that some of my clients have difficulty with. So if anything I said today resonated with you, then you can continue or start your healing journey with me. First, I have coming up, it's a group coaching session called Audacity of a Healing Woman. That is a transformational space for women who are ready to release emotional baggage and step into a new version of themselves. And this is not for the maybe I want to see what it's like. This is for the people who know that they know that they know that they want to release some emotional baggage with the help of me. So comment the word audacity and you'll get the link for that. I have you take an assessment first. The assessment is for me to see how serious you are about joining a program, because I don't take just anybody. So I always have to assess when I do my group coaching in Audacity of a Healing Woman. I also have my book, Quiet is Kept, on Instagram. If you comment the word quiet, you'll get the link for that. Everyone else, TikTok, I'm at TikTok shop. You can find my book, Quiet is Kept, there. That's my personal story of since I start talking about when I was like 2 to 3 years old, 3 or 4 years old. And all the traumas that I went through. I talk about all the traumas. I do not leave anything out. I talk in detail. It might be triggering to some, and it might help you see yourself. I talk about child abuse. I talk about being a teen mom. I had my first kid when I was 14. I talk about being arrested when I was 16 for shoplifting. So I talk about all kind of stuff. And not only do I talk about it, I talk about when I went through my breakdown. I had a nervous breakdown in 2018. So I talk about that. I talk about what I did to, onward from that. I talk about my severe anxiety and depression diagnosis that I had and how I got through that, which was with talk therapy and guided journaling. And I talk about all kind of stuff. So it is a very educational, informative book. Or if you're just getting it to be nosy and messy, go and get it anyway. Because You will see yourself in it some kind of way. And it can be found again on my TikTok shop. It can be found in my TikTok shop, Shanti Journal Bay, or you could just go to my website, everyone, shantirefuge.com or shantirefugejournals.com, and you can find it there. I also have a podcast. If you're into podcasts, I have a podcast called The Quiet is Kept Podcast with Shanti Refuge. And that one, I drop a new podcast maybe once or twice every week. So, and it is playing everywhere podcasts are being played. So, go to your favorite Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon podcasts, wherever you listen to it at, and find my podcast and follow and listen to some of the episodes. They're all named. And this month, I'm also talking about emotional spring cleaning. So, I keep it consistent every month on what I'm talking about. Last month I talked about Women's History Month, and it was more for women, but typically what I talk about is for women, but everyone can resonate. I don't care who you are, where you came from, what you did, how you did it. It don't matter. I talk about all the things that we were told to not talk about. And if you are a Gen Xer like me, then you definitely were told what goes on in the house stays in the house. Don't tell nobody my business, blah, blah, blah. I tell it all. So go subscribe to the podcast. And if you ever have any questions that you want answered, I can answer them on my podcast. All you have to do is DM me and say, ask a question and I will answer it. Simple as that. Also, I have guided journals. This is how Shanti Refuge Journals was born. I created guided journals based on um, different issues that I personally was going through. So when I had my nervous breakdown, my therapist helped me to see what all my issues were. And so we made guided journals for each because you don't want to write in one journal for all your issues. So I had separate journals for separate. I had 26 different issues, y'all, when I went into therapy. That was back in 2018. And so now I have them separated so the user can understand you only write about this. Like, let's say you want to get back into prayer. I have a prayer guided journal. Hello, Yassine. How you doing? Um, I have prayer journal. I have self-esteem, self-love, self-awareness. You name the issue, I have it as a guided journal. And if I don't have it, DM me and I will make it for you. Simple as that. And all the guided journals come with a pen. So you are whole when you get this journal so that you can write. All right, y'all. So if anything I said to you during the live spoke to you, distract yourself from what? If anything I said to you spoke to you and you're ready to let go of resentment and reclaim your peace, drop clean in the comment and you will get the 7-day emotional spring cleaning workbook. If you want to work with me closer, go to my website. I do group coaching, I do one-on-one coaching. Whatever your pleasure is, go to my website, shantirefuge.com, see what I offer, and let's talk about it. And let's talk about, I do take FSA, HSA. I do not take insurance. And I do have a sliding scale for um, if you are paying cash. Well, cash is king, but like if you like Cash App and a Zelle or whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, then I do have discounted prices for that. Because holding on to resentment does not punish your past, it robs you of your presence and your peace. And we are undoing that today. So thank you. Thank you all for showing up for yourself today. And remember that releasing resentment is not about erasing your story, it is about freeing yourself to write a new one. So you deserve peace, whoever you are. I don't care who you are, what you did, when you did it. You deserve peace. You deserve healing, and you deserve to move forward and unburden. If you are in the Houston area, I'm in Houston. So if you're in the Houston area on this Saturday, I will be speaking at the maternal health and child expo, hosted by the Harris County. Oh Lord, Harris County something. I need to know where I'm speaking at. Wherever it may be, it's going to be at Tom Bass Park. So I will be there all day on Saturday. I think it's from 10 to 3 or something like that. I will be there. I will have resources available and I will be speaking. So come, and if you're in the area, come to Tom Bass Park and say hi. Come say hi, shake my hand, give me a hug, whatever it is. You know, let's see what we can do together. I'm always open to working with other wellness professionals, and I'm also always willing to work to accept new clients as long as we align. So that's the main thing. If we don't align, I can't work with you, and I will let you know. Hey, we're not aligned, but I will also refer you to someone who may be more aligned. So I will see y'all tomorrow, day 9, and remember we are talking about self forgiveness on tomorrow. So tune in on tomorrow, and we're gonna get into it. Remember to go watch the replay on my YouTube channel, Shanti Refuge Journals. You can't miss me. Go ahead and subscribe to my podcast too. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Shanti Refuge Journals and watch the replays and catch the journal prompts that I just dropped. I will see you all on tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Bye, y'all.